Welcome to Image City Photography Gallery's holiday show for the year 2020, and one of our guest photographers is Clyde Comstock. Clyde, what do you have planned for us this show?
I have a collection of birds and then nature scenes and the comet, a couple of Lake Ontario shots. My bigger images will be Lake Ontario and then these fall shots. And then I have some intermediate and smaller ones that are mainly birds and animals. Well, I did include my cardinal in the snow this year.
Well, of course. I mean, how many copies of that have you sold? Do you have any idea how many you've sold?
I don't know. It's probably the best-selling one that I've taken, and it probably took me 3 years to take it because we have a tree right outside, and when it would snow heavily, I would be sitting in that room waiting for the snow to pile up, and then opening the window because I didn't want to shoot through a window and degrade the image. And then if it wasn't windy and the snow would pile up and a cardinal would land in the right position, I could get the shot. And that happened once in probably 3 years.
Well, it's a great image. I love seeing that, and the people always love seeing that photograph. It's
Thanks.
great. Now, tell me about the comet. Is that the one that we just had recently this summer?
It is. That's Comet Neowise, or the COVID comet, depending on your perspective. And I took that down. Our house is right near Lake Ontario, so I went down to the beach just as it was getting dark enough that I thought I could see the comet, but I wanted to have enough light that I would be able to get a little bit of the beach and the water and the environment around there. So when I got down there to take it, I couldn't see a thing, but I brought my binoculars because I heard that you may not be able to see it with the naked eye. Used the binoculars to find it, had my long lens, zoomed in on it, found it, and then backed off and included the foreground of the reflection in Lake Ontario with the comet hovering above it. And of course, took a bunch to make sure I got the exposure right.
Congratulations on doing that. I looked for it several times both when it was in the morning and then also when it was out here at night, and I couldn't find it either time. I never did see it, even with binoculars.
It's very hard to do. I had read that if you hold your hand at the horizon, and I think it was go up 2.5 hands, it should be about there in the direction that it said, and I think kind of north, maybe a little northwest. So I did that and then found it with my binoculars, but the camera is more sensitive than my eye, so I was able to, with a longer exposure, catch it, and I had to make sure I kept it under about 20 seconds so the stars wouldn't move. Ended up working, and I got the comet. The comet stands still, so you have a little bit of time to mess around, unlike when you're taking a full moon rising shot. It moves pretty rapidly, so you have to move it along, but the comet you have some time to play around with.
And then you have that one with the trees. Is that some intentional camera movement you did, or what was your technique?
It is. Yeah, I have, like every other photographer, fall's a great time to shoot, but my favorite shots are fall reflections, and I tend to do extremely well-focused, smooth reflections of the fall. And this year I ended up kind of boring myself with taking the same shots over and over again, as much as I like them, and decided I'd been working with camera movement for a while, mainly in the winter, trying to capture the sense of winter without the necessarily getting the detail of the snow and everything. So I decided to try that for the fall and give the feeling of the trees and the environment and the color without doing the kind of hyper realistic fall shots that I usually take. And it gives the sense of fall without the detail of it. And this one is slightly more clear exactly what it is. The other one I'm going to be showing is some clear dark tree trunks with a lot of color behind it. But it gives you the feeling of the fall color in a kind of a different way.
Yeah, kind of an abstract way. I like that. You know, you're a great photographer, Clyde. I always enjoy seeing your work.
Appreciate that, Carl. I always love seeing everybody else's work there too.
Thank you, Clyde. We look forward to visitors seeing your photographs in the show and the other photographs we have on display at 722 University Avenue in Rochester.